Well, that is that. Ripple swell over for another year, but we're leaving with a massive sense of optimism. Lots of things talked about that could be an ignition for the bull market if we continue past this week. I want to break down in this video some of the key things that were announced and that $500 million investment announced by Brad Garlinghouse. Smash up the like button to a brand new all-time high, and don't forget, hit that subscribe button. Let's get into it. So if you are XRP holders, Ripple swell is done for another year, and next year sounds like it's going to be even bigger. But what was the big takeaways from this event? Well, Paul Barron giving us a very interesting tweet here, specifically talking about what we heard, whether it's Ripple Prime offering collateralized lending for XRP, as well as $95+ billion in payment volume through XRP, 60 million in daily transactions, and the Fortune 500 company exploring XRP for treasury options. This is good news, and this was the tip of the iceberg when we break down specifically what was going on. You only have to take a look at this announcement from Brad Garlinghouse that was said today.
But in addition to acknowledging some of the stuff that Ashish pointed out happened overnight, earlier this morning, Ripple announced a $500 million investment from led by Fortress and Citadel, some of the biggest names in finance. And so, although we're not talking about that today, at least I wanted to acknowledge that so that people are aware that we're not just ignoring it. It is nice to take a moment to see kind of how far we've come.
Give us that announcement at the Ripple swell event. He followed it up so that everybody can hear. And this tweet was, well, pretty bullish if you ask me. The fact is that they announced that $500 million investment from not only Citi Securities, Pantera Capital, and Galaxy Digital. These are all very bullish news, and these were all at a $40 billion valuation. Now, I know what you're thinking. Who is Citadel Securities? The reality is they are a substantial player in the market. #1 most profitable hedge fund and $69 billion of invested capital as of October the 1st. Well, it's another great strategy from Ripple, from Brad Garlinghouse, choosing the right people to go with. Now, this only sets up for what we believe is going to be the next big move with XRP. Yes, the markets need to come with us. We need to see a little bit more optimism, but to put a $40 billion valuation that Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse himself saying that they now don't need to look to do an IPO tells you that, well, the new era of financial markets is coming. And Brad himself saying exactly that.
Don't want to or need to IPO?
I mean, need to is, a lot of companies go public because they need to raise capital. Ripple has had a very healthy balance sheet that has enabled us to, buy Hidden Road and buy G Treasury, et cetera. So it has not been a short-term priority for Ripple to get public because we haven't needed to raise capital.
There was also further announcements of some pretty big partnerships, whether it's WebBank, Gemini, and a very big announcement with none other than MasterCard. Now, this will be introducing RLUSD and credit card settlements. Guess what? All on the XRP ledger. So this was a massive event. And what did we see in terms of holdings? Well, guess what? People were removing XRP from exchanges. In fact, over the course of the last 48 hours, we've seen some of the biggest removals of XRP from exchanges, 1.25 billion over the course of the last 5 days. That's while at the same time, we had another massive liquidation event and the market dumping. So what does it tell us? Well, outside of the general push downs in the market, people are bullish on what XRP is going to do. And remember, Brad himself talking today that XRP is at the heart of everything do. He actually even referred to it as the Northern Star. So, I mean, if you're ever bullish on XRP, that's a pretty good statement from the CEO of the company. And then when you look in terms of sentiment, how do people feel right now? The reality is 21,595 brand new XRP wallets have been created in the last 48 hours. Can we attribute all of this to the market dump and now the market pushing back up? Or can we attribute it to, more notably, the XRP ledger data indicating that people want to be involved in this market, whether it's Gemini releasing credit cards, whether it's IPOs discussions, whether it's the CEO of NASDAQ talking about how Ripple and more importantly XRP can be integrated into financial markets. It's all pretty bullish if you ask me. And that's before we start talking about price predictions and everything else. XRP holding up around 234. We're looking for a push to around that 250 mark, aligned to the broader market, but the next 24 hours in that will be critical. Keep your eyes peeled, but Ripple swell for this year is done. And I think it's probably the most bullish one we've seen yet. Let me know what you think of all of that in the comments down below. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.